So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. Some of my thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me, and they matter to me, and it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through compared to now, I guess. But yeah, enjoy the video. Peace. I was thinking the other day about sort of looking at opposites of things, and for me, when you flip the coin, you see patterns, or I see patterns. And one thing that I've recently saw is, we've got this TikTok craze, and it's because those short form videos are really interesting. Like, they do really just spike, give you a hit of dopamine and make you like really, enjoy what you're seeing. And you can scroll so fast and see so many things that you enjoy in such a short period that it does just really entertain you. And I was thinking, I wonder why it sort of changed. Because when I grew up, it was like YouTube videos, like 10-minute to 20-minute videos that you'd watch, but you'd sit down and you'd watch them. Whereas now, like, we can just watch them anywhere. You can just watch your videos, sort of. You have a minute here, 2 minutes there, 5 minutes here. You just, you do a scroll and you get entertained. But then I thought, yeah, what's the opposite of that? And it's podcasts. And TikTok and podcasts have really boomed together. They've really spiked and peaked at it's like at quite a high, like, gives you a high value of entertainment. Pretty sure everyone listens to podcasts or some form of long video. And it is the opposite of them 10-second TikTok videos. You then have an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour podcast that you listen to. And it's funny because, TikTok is giving, TikTok, they say, is giving people like a shorter attention span. But I also think it's given us a craving for long form videos, long conversations, because we get that hit of short content. And I think because we get that craving, the long form podcasts, for me, that I listen to, you don't get bored of them because you don't think. Because when you start getting bored in them, all you need is that short little spike and short little hit of something, which you just go onto TikTok and do. But you don't necessarily need that, because, for me, podcasts I listen to them while I'm doing something. It's a steady thing in the background, whereas you can't watch TikTok while you're doing something. It's just not really possible. And I find it interesting how it gives you that sort of the two different sides, and it hits both long form and short form. And I'm wondering what the change is after this. Like, what happens to the medium form sort of content where it's 10 minutes and 20 minutes again? I don't know if it's just personally me, but I don't really watch that many YouTube videos at 10 or 20 minutes. Or if I do it, it's a certain time, do you know what I mean? And it makes me wonder, what's like the next step? What's after TikTok? Is it even shorter? Or do we go back to medium form content? It's not a too interesting topic to talk about, but what I find fully interesting is how there's always this sort of opposite, there's this reverse side to it, that, once you've got that short form, everyone wants long form now as well. Yeah. after I've said all that out loud, it does kind of sound boring, but it was just something I was thinking of how interesting it is that things sort of get created, and then there's a sort of a byproduct of it, or things sort of linked together, because it wasn't like podcasts weren't a thing and then TikTok came along and then it happened. It was a gradual thing, just I guess like TikTok was. I've just seen a video that, Vine might be coming back, which is completely interesting, because then TikTok will get competition, and it's not really a competition for TikTok, but it's interesting because Twitter owns Vine, so what sort of stuff will you be seeing on Vine? Because most people know Twitter is a bit hectic, it's open, it's free, there's not really that many restrictions on it. So, yeah. Still sounds boring when you speak it out loud. Sometimes you do think about boring stuff, don't you? I think it probably is when you're bored. You just think about anything. Like, just earlier, I was looking at the brickwork on houses, and I'm like, you can tell the difference between a boring house and a house that grabs your attention. It just has the little details that are different. Like the brickwork, you have curves and arches and stuff like that. And then the boring houses are just blocked, square, straight lines and stuff like that. Whereas I'm looking at, like, driving past sort of cottagey looking houses now, it's like got different colour bricks, different size bricks. And then literally next door to that is just like a blank white wall. And it's like, I don't know which one I would prefer. And it gets me thinking on like the country, and I guess what it probably used to be like. There was a bit more care for detail. Whereas now, purely I reckon it's because it is more expensive to have these details on your house. And if you're struggling financially, that's the last thing you're going to be wanting to think about, is the detailing on your house and making things look good. But if we all adopt that sort of mindset of just get it up because it's the cheapest, you really do sacrifice in other areas. There's a reason it is cheap. It is a lower quality, and it is missing that sort of spark. I mean, for us in Europe, you go around these sort of countries and you look at the architecture, and you see it's got a bit of character to it, a bit of life to it. Whereas here, in a lot of places, it's just a box. It's just a box with windows. And I wonder what would happen if we changed that. If in some way we give our buildings character, does it energise us in any way, or am I just talking absolute crap? I just wonder if your environment increases in quality and care and attention to it, does your country slowly start doing that as well? And I understand the issues financially, but sometimes as people we do just go for the cheapest option, and a lot of the time it doesn't work out. Sometimes you do got to pay a bit more for it to be worth it. Like me and my girlfriend are talking about the gym that we go to. It's very expensive and it's out of our price range really, but it's absolutely worth it. Just the vibe that you get when you walk into it. There's not this. You don't have to motivate yourself to go in it. You don't feel self-conscious when you go in it like everyone's looking at you. The people in there are different, and the variety that you get when you're in there, I think it just a mixture of things add up, and it's the little details that change your mindset of a place. Whereas I know people that go into other gyms that, are 4 times lower the price than ours, and you just think, and they don't want to go, and they don't necessarily like it, but they're doing it, and it's like, of course you're not. It's not got any character to it. But yeah. Anyway, home now, so peace.